What's happening, y'all? I'm back for another video this week. Maybe it'll be a little shorter, I think, because I don't have so much stuff to show y'all this time. Uh, VC cheers. Is there still a VC around? Oh, Morty. Morty just caused an earthquake. Anyway, that was exciting, wasn't it? Ooh, oh. Like I was saying, I don't have so much stuff to show you this week because I only got a few records and whatnots. Today, I've talked about my girlfriend Connie a couple times, and you've seen her in a sewing machine video. But we're trying to relocate her horses. She has two horses, and I think we found a place for them about 10 minutes from here where they will board her horses. They have some land there and fencing and even an arena where she can do her horse riding lessons and whatnot, and we hope that's going to work out. I probably haven't even talked about that yet, but yeah, she has a couple of horses. Their names are Blaze and Jadir. Um, Sometime I'll throw in a photo or a video or something of those two graceful beings. Anyway, but I wasn't going to make this video because right when I was getting ready to make this, the outlaw Josie Wales came on. That's one of my favorite westerns of all time, with Clint Eastwood. Um, that came on, but I decided, well, I'll go ahead and make a video because I already have that movie on DVD and Blu-ray and Amazon, all kinds of different versions of the outlaw Josie Wales. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. But anyway, I got this. All I have to show for this video is this bottle opener I found that says a toast to the host. And it says good luck and a bunch of other salute. Some stuff on there. I can't even see what it says. Cheers, Proust. And it looks like a little leg. And this is a bottle opener. I'm not even sure how old this was. Still has the price sticker on it. It was $8 at our antique place here. But I thought that was kind of cool. They don't even make most of the bottles they make now are their twist open type caps. But I figured I could go find me a Mexican bottle of Coke somewhere or a Mexican beer. Some of those still have where you have to use a bottle opener to pop the cap off. And also, you can't take this from me because I've been needing this for hunting squirrels and such. You know me, I got to run out in the woods every now and then, hunt me down a couple of squirrels and such out there with the savages. The savage natives running around out there in the woods. And all that stuff. Some craziness there. But yeah, the bottle opener. And I have some records. I have a few records here. We have Paul Simon's Greatest Hits, etc. And again, I didn't want to run out and buy a whole bunch of Paul Simon records, so I just picked up this Paul Simon's Greatest Hits, and it has some great tunes on it. Slip Sliding Away, Stranded in a Limousine, Still Crazy After All These Years. I can deal with that. Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard. I remember that. 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. We don't want to do that. I probably know about 150 of those, but at the moment, I don't. I'm in a good relationship now, and that's not going to happen. At some point, I think that we want to find ourselves a house. I might be moving locations again at some point, people. I want to, we want to find a house kind of out in the country, either rent it. At my age, we'll probably just rent it and not try to buy anything, but we want to find a house with some property, some acreage, maybe for the horses and a barn and whatnot, and just set up our little homesteading place. And I'll bring my can opener because I'll be needing that for squirrels and such. That sort of thing. Here we have the best of Free. I showed you that Free album last week. I don't know too much about this band yet. I haven't really studied up on them. If they're how many albums they released. Maybe it was one. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed that album, so I got this best of Free, which I found for like $3-4, and it has Fire and Water. I like that one. The Highway Song, Little Bit of Love, Mouthful of Grass, My Brother Jake, and The Hunter, which is only 6 songs, I take it, unless there's a side one somewhere on the back. It just says side one. Where's side? Maybe there's just one side to this. I'm not sure. Haven't looked at it. Let's take a look at that right now, people. No, it does have 2 sides. Right there. Nope. And the last album is the best of Buck Owens. Now I have more than several Buck Owens records. I think I have part 1, volume 1 of this. Now I have volume 2. A golden dozen of #1 hits by old Buck Owens there. I've got a Tiger by the Tail, Together Again, Act Naturally, Waiting in Your Welfare Line. I remember those days, waiting in the welfare line. He has a song called that. And, when I was a kid, all during the years I was growing up, we were on welfare. My mother, my grandmother, we were always on welfare, struggling. I didn't know any other way of life. I was just a kid. But we would get the food stamps every month, the paper ones. But a lot of good stories came out of that, because I remember over the years, every year we would get adopted by some family somewhere that had money, and that's how we would have our Christmas. Our family got adopted at Christmas, and they would bring us Christmas presents, and even a whole Christmas dinner. I remember. I don't know if there's still anything like that around that I remember. This would have been back in the 1970s, early 80s, and there, where that's how we had our Christmas every year. Was we were adopted by a family. But some of the best gifts I got over those years were from my grandmother. One time she bought me it was a dollar piggy bank from a dime store that was close to us. It was called Jupiter's. And I remember going with her into the store and seeing the piggy bank. It was a little doggy or something. And I said, I really liked it. I looked at it and liked it. We didn't get it at the time, but it showed up under the Christmas tree. I remember, and that's one of the good memories. Also, she painted Easter eggs with me every year. Well, they weren't painted. We drew on them with crayons. We used to get that big box of crayons from Crayola, and that's how we painted our Easter eggs. And she would just hide them all over the house, and sometimes out in the yard. And it would just be me at the time, and I'd go looking for the Easter eggs. And that's how I remember. That's some of my memories. But back to the welfare thing. Another story on that is that my mom took me with her at least once or twice a month to the, it wasn't the Salvation Army thing, but it was a shelter where they fed people all the time. And we went there once a month, at least twice, but once a month we would get a big block of cheese from the government. If you all remember government cheese, those of you who might have been poor, but those made the best grilled cheeses I can ever remember. And cheese toast. She would just put a piece of cheese on a piece of bread and put it under that bottom broiler under the oven. We had a gas stove. She would cook them under there, and I just remember the top of the toast being, it would bubble up with cheese, and it would kind of turn brown in spots. And it was great. It was just awesome. And also, we would sit and eat with those people. Whether they were human people with stories and stuff, and we would sit there and eat with them at least once a month, and about half of them were our relatives. But anyway, I just remember my mom was very talkative, and she would visit with everyone, and that was some of the most fond memories I have. And you didn't have to have a lot of money to have memories and good times with other human beings on this planet. Um, but anyway, that's that. That's those stories. We have I told you about the horses. Um, that's going to be another. We went out there today to see the border, and it's a nice place. It has a barn. There's about 20 other horses there in various pens, and there's even a couple of mules. I decided to name the two mules Nipples and Stinky. Nipples and Stinky were standing there. They're very friendly mules. As soon as we walked up, Connie wanted to pet them. And there were a couple of fat cats running around that were probably mousing the barn and whatnot. But anyway, it was a good time, and I'll get more into that once we get the horses moved and everything. And I think it's going to all work out really good. And that's that. Also, at the end of this video, there's a little clip I'm going to put in of a lost Doug and Colin video that I found. And don't pay any attention to the helmet I'm wearing. I think that's why I didn't put it up on here, is because I'm wearing kind of a controversial World War II helmet in the video, and we're both kind of sauced up, and I wasn't thinking about, people get all offended about all kinds of stuff these days. And that's it. Calling over and out. Weirdos unite. And I'm going to put on a tune here at the end. We'll see what happens on the old 45 jukebox here. I loaded it full of 45s. Marty. We really gotta make sure we have background music.
Yeah. Well, not this one. It's too slow.
Oh, you don't like Neil Diamond?
Yeah, I like Neil Diamond, but
Neil.
it's too slow. Let's get some jumping music on before we start. Because this is how we do our things. How we do our thing. Yeah, wait.
I think this is a slow one too.
Well, let's just wait.
Can't wait too long. You might pass out on me. Because you're really boozing. Maybe I should put on some Parliament Funkadelic.
Yep.
Put that Parliament
That's what
on.
you should do.
Yeah. Parliament.
Then we can talk about it.
And then we can, you'll be able to talk then. Stuff will start coming out of you like left and right. Besides shit.
Oh!
Okay, I put on the Parliament.
Alright, I think this is pretty good. Let's